Hello, and welcome to this month's Lunch and Learn on goal setting and sustainable resolutions. My name is Allison Knight. I am the health coach for Employee Health Center. I am a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, a nutrition and dietetics technician registered, as well as a certified personal trainer. So today we're going to talk about goal setting and resolutions because it's just the new year and this is the time of year when we start thinking about those things. So jumping right in, we're going to talk about goal setting. So what are some reasons that we might not stick with a goal? We might not have the motivation, but one of the biggest things that tends to have us lose our momentum is setting one really large goal that can seem super overwhelming. For instance, let's say someone needs to lose 50 pounds to reach a normal BMI. That amount of weight of 50 pounds can seem like too much. People don't know where to start, and so they give up before they even start trying. Instead of having one really large goal, try breaking up into short, smaller goals or into an action plan for your long-term goal. Then create a list of specific steps that it'll take to achieve each of those smaller goals. One thing to remember is that goals are not set in stone. They are fluid and ever-changing, just as we are, so they can change and grow along with us. It's also a good idea to take a look at your goals every so often, every few weeks, just to see if they're still relevant and pertain to what you're wishing to achieve. So the first thing to do is to assess and select. So look at your current lifestyle and your habits. What are you thinking you might want to set a goal in? And then think about the areas that you might be ready to make a change in. For instance, you might start thinking about exercising more, or you might think about increasing your fruit and vegetable intake. You might be trying to quit smoking, you might be trying to lose weight, increase your steps throughout the day, or even just manage stress. Now, thinking about that list that you thought, choose one thing that you are most ready to make a change in. You might be more ready to get in 30 minutes of exercise 3 days a week than you are to start eating vegetables every day of the week. Set that as your first goal. Next, be specific. You want to make sure that your goal is specific. Doing so can make sure that you have a clear-cut guide to what you want, and it helps you identify your progress better. So instead of just saying, I want to eat healthier, you might say, I want to eat 2 cups of fruits and vegetables on weekdays. Or maybe instead of, I want to get more sleep, I want to go to bed a half hour earlier than I normally do. And remember, we can build on these. You want to start small. Once you've accomplished that, build on that, and continue with your success. Another thing is to make it measurable. This again is key to identifying your progress and seeing that you are in fact taking steps forward, even if you aren't seeing big changes. One way to do this is obviously using a scale to measure weight loss, maybe a tape measure to see inches lost. You might also use a calendar or some sort of paper tracker or app to mark off days that you've ate your fruits and vegetables, days that you've gone to the gym, or days that you've gotten in enough water. Then assess the attainability of the goal that you're looking to set. Determine if it's really realistic and truly attainable for you. Losing 10 pounds in a week may not be realistic for you, while losing 10 pounds in 3 months might be. You want to make sure that you aren't already setting yourself up for failure. However, you also want to make sure that you're challenging yourself enough to feel accomplished. So it needs to be a medium goal. Not too hard, but not too easy. The more that we feel accomplished, the more self-confidence we build, and the more we feel like we continue being successful. Lastly, you want to make sure that it's relevant and timely. You want to make sure that that goal fits you and your life where you are currently. what you might set as a goal today might not have been the goal you would have set a year ago, and it might not be what the goal will look like for you in 3 months. And lastly, you want to set a time limit on that. It is good to put parameters on, I want to set this, be successful in this goal in 6 months. So for my example, I want to run 8-minute mile by April 15th. You now have a date in which you wish to do this. Another example would be setting a quit date for smoking if you're thinking of quitting tobacco. So now we've talked about goal setting and some tips on helping you create a goal that you can truly stick with. Now let's get back to that resolution part. So resolutions are often, I want to lose weight, I want to eat healthier, I want to exercise more, and those are great. But here are some ideas that maybe you haven't thought of before. They might be a little bit more practical, and they might be a little bit more sustainable for you. Practice deep breathing. So learning to control your breathing is actually one of the best neuro hacks for managing your feelings, your emotions, and it can be done basically anywhere in virtually any situation. There is a strong link between our breath and our state of mind. When we have short, shallow breaths, like we're hyperventilating, we're anxious, we're angry, we actually turn on our sympathetic nervous system. This is the nervous system that turns on that fight or flight instinct. So it floods our blood sugar, it floods our body with cortisol, and gets prepared to fight. That's not what we need in most situations. So taking the time to look at our breathing, pay attention to it, tune into it, and focus, and then breathe slowly actually turns on our parasympathetic nervous system. This nervous system has the rest and digest or rest and relax factor. So now we're learning to turn our body into a calm state instead of this over-anxious, overhyped state. So maybe practicing deep breathing is something that you'd be interested in trying. Another example of a resolution might be eating more mindfully. Do you currently read food labels? Do you look at that label on the side of your food before you purchase it, or when you take it off the shelf and decide if it's something you're going to eat? You might look at calories or fat. You might look specifically at the unsaturated fat or trans fat content. If you're watching your blood pressure, you might want to look at the sodium. If you're looking to watch your sugars, maybe specifically at added sugars. You can also take a look at the ingredients list. Do you know what all of those ingredients are? Do you know how to say them? Do you know what they are? And are there a lot of them or are there a little? Those can help you make more mindful choices. Another good thing to do is to create a grocery list before you go to the store. When we're hungry, when we go to the grocery store, we tend to choose things we might not choose otherwise. We're letting our stomach take over. One of the biggest things that helps with eating mindfully is making sure that we're doing so in a distraction-free area. So eating dinner or lunch, we want to do that and nothing else. We want to go away from our computer, stop our work. We don't want to sit in front of the TV. We want to put the phone down. It's also a good idea to try to implement family dinners as much as possible and put screens away. Eating meals or eating foods or snacks with distraction can actually cause us to eat more because we lose track. We're not truly paying attention to what we're eating. Not only that, but it makes our food more enjoyable if we're really paying attention to it and tasting it. Here's some other methods on how to relax fast: binaural beats, progressive muscle relaxation, deep breathing, guided imagery or mental imagery, body scans, punching, journaling, might be taking a hot shower, whatever is a healthy, relaxing way for you to unwind. There's also some more relaxation techniques here. Links for progressive muscle relaxation deep breathing, guided imagery, and yoga. One of the best deep breathing exercises that I often suggest and practice with clients is the 4-7-8 breath. So you actually breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 7, and then you breathe out for a count of 8. Now that whooshing noise that you heard, you actually place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth right behind your front 2 teeth. You want to do this cycle for 4 sets and then relax. This particular breathing technique does turn on that parasympathetic nervous system and induces that sense of calm. You only want to do it for a cycle of 3 times initially. Because of the unique breathing pattern, it does come with practice. So you don't want to do it too often until you've practiced it more. Learn a new skill. So learning a new skill or taking up a new hobby actually creates new neural pathways in our brain. And they found that this can not only help our brain efficiency and our memory, but it can also help prevent dementia and Alzheimer's. And it improves our psychological well-being by increasing one's self-confidence. So, if there's something that you've been looking to try or take up but you've been afraid to do so, here's a couple reasons why you should. Moving more. So again, I said a lot of people want to add in more exercise after the first of the year, and that's great. The one thing I want to point out is that physical activity does not need to involve a gym. It can be scary, it can be expensive, so try to find ways that you enjoy movement that can be your type of physical exercise. Swimming, bicycling, Zumba, yoga, stretching, strength training, weight training, Pilates, bar classes, cycling. There's a ton of things and a ton of options that you can do. You also want to try various types of cardio exercises. Cardio is going to help improve your heart health, whereas strength training is improving your lean muscle mass and hopefully decreasing your fat mass. Balance training, which we often need, especially as we age, it can help improve our core strength and our stability, help prevent falls. And stretching exercises, making sure that we are keeping our muscles warm to prevent strains and injury. Getting more sleep is another one. So this is often the first thing that gets put on the back burner when our life is busy. And let's face it, that's all of the time. But it has a huge impact on our physical and mental health. 1 in 3 adults does not get enough sleep. Many adults in America have insomnia issues. And the thing about not getting enough sleep is that it can actually lead to an increased appetite, particularly for things like added sugars and simple carbohydrates, and a decreased satiety level or fullness level. So not only are we more hungry, but it also takes us longer to fill up. And when we're tired, we tend to not really want to do a whole lot. So we also see a decrease in physical activity, and it's a vicious cycle. One thing about sleep, as well as all these habits that I'm talking about, is our behaviors and our lifestyle have a huge impact on how our genes express themselves. A study of 26 healthy people showed that half the group who slept more than 10 hours and half the group slept less than 6 for 1 week. The group that slept less than 6 hours for only 1 week saw changes in 700 gene expressions that ranged anywhere from regulating metabolism to stress response and even regulating other gene expressions. So not getting enough sleep can have a huge impact on it. Your genes and their expression, your gene expression rather, can change in a matter of weeks or months, and there's even some evidence that it can be minute by minute. So these small changes that we're talking about in lifestyle habits can have an impact. Set screen time limits. In this day and age, It's easy to feel like we're on 24/7 because we have a laptop, we have an iPad, we have an iPhone, we have a smart watch. But turning off those devices and putting them away as much as possible is extremely beneficial. Screen time can actually impact our circadian rhythm, again, causing insomnia or disrupted sleep. Meanwhile, constant social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, can actually cause a decrease in our emotional and our psychological health. Oftentimes, we can start to compare ourselves to other people thinking they have the perfect life. But the thing about social media is we rarely see the negative. We mostly see this ideal image of the perfect job, the perfect family, the perfect car, the perfect body. And everybody is dealing with things that they're just not showing online. So trying to remember that and also distance yourself and not be turned on into it so much. Another thing you might want to try is practicing gratitude. Studies show that people who show gratitude are 25% happier than those who don't. This means simply counting your blessings and thinking of all the good in your life, especially on crappy days, can improve your overall mood and health. Some ideas for doing this are keeping a gratitude journal or just thinking about 3 things that you're thankful for before bed. So maybe it's, I got a walk-in during work, my coworker and I had a nice chat, I accomplished everything on my to-do list. But simply thinking about what you're grateful for can actually improve, again, those pathways in our brain. It can change them, and a positive mindset can create a positive atmosphere, and that can make us physically healthier. Oftentimes, a negative mindset is attributed to more physical ailment. And lastly, prioritizing yourself. One of my favorite quotes that I say to clients, especially women and moms, is you can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure that you set aside time each day to do something for yourself. It's okay to say no. You don't need to say yes to everything. In fact, if it's going to be harder for you to do something in the long run, it's just better to say no upfront. And finally, allow yourself to recharge. Take just a few minutes just for you to take care of all your aspects of your health. Our mental and our emotional health are strongly correlated with our physical health. Here's some examples of gratitude prompts. So what is one good thing that happened today? What is one thing I appreciate about my body? What is one thing I am looking forward to today? These are some things that might get the ball rolling on practicing gratitude. So sticking to your goals. Again, remember that goals are not set in stone. They are fluid, they are ever changing, they can change along with you. And it's good to reevaluate them as we continue to move forward to make sure that they're still relevant to you. Involving others. So having accountability is key to being successful. Let those around you know what your goal is. So coworkers, family, friends, and let them know also how they can help support you and help you stay on track. Another great thing to do is establish your goals with a health coach. An extra layer of accountability. They can also provide you with resources, education, and just again, some additional support. Create incentives. So plan out incentives along the way that can help continue your success. Try to make those rewards relevant to what your goal is. So if you're trying to get more sleep in, maybe after you've successfully gone to bed a half hour earlier for a month, you get a new foam pillow or a new set of nice sheets. Or if you're trying to increase your gym days or steps during the day, maybe an activity tracker. If you're trying to improve self-care and stress management and deep breathing, maybe a massage. Try to stick with rewards that will continue to benefit your success and your progress. Plan ahead. One of the other keys to success is planning ahead. So meal planning and then prepping some or all of the week ahead. Writing gym days on the calendar and checking them off as you accomplish them. Or setting reminders to unwind for bed can all help you stay on track. Having things planned out for the week and already built into your schedule makes it harder to skip and get off track. Putting those things on a calendar like you would any other appointment can help you stay on track. And lastly, one of the keys to sticking to your goals is it's okay to take a break. It's okay to skip the gym today. It's okay to enjoy a cheeseburger. Just don't let it become a regular thing. One of our biggest flaws is thinking that because we skipped one day or we screwed up today, that it's over, that we can't start until Monday or the first of the month or the new year, but that's completely wrong. We can get back on track, dust ourselves off, and get right back to it. We can enjoy that free day or that treat guilt-free and then just get right back on track. It's a big mindset thing, allowing ourselves to enjoy it and not feel guilty. Thank you for listening to this Lunch and Learn on goal setting and healthy resolutions. If you are interested in disease prevention or management, healthy eating, exercise planning, goal setting, or accountability, please contact me. My information is listed down below. Thanks so much and have a great day.